If this message is finding you right now, rest assured that I feel like I always say rest assured when I start these, but I really do want you to rest and be sure that better is coming. Better is coming in for you. I was laying in bed and I just had this awful feeling that there was someone out there in the world that was just feeling like nothing would ever get better. If I could tell you the things that I've been through, and I doubt that I'm stronger than you are. I really do doubt it. And even if you could argue, like, oh, I'm not feeling strong right now, it doesn't feel like I am the things that I usually feel like I am, or I feel like I'm in a rut, or things just aren't working out. I really am feeling right now. And I'm really I just know that this is a collective of people, like, you're attracted to this message because you know deep down things resolve itself. Law of attraction is in play. If you want better for yourself, better comes. Better comes. It's your desire and what you are daring enough to want, because it's courageous to admit to yourself, to admit to the universe, I want better. And I don't see it in front of me right now. That's a very vulnerable thing. Imagine you were telling another person, I really, really want this, but it's just not seeming to come. That's a vulnerable thing to do. But we have to get rid of the side of you that doubts for a second that you can't have it. We need to get rid of the side of you that is full of doubt that your life will turn into a beautiful one. You know, I'm just feeling like I'm hearing the word impenetrable, like your ability to be impenetrable, like kind of almost like a stubborn energy, almost like a Virgo or like a Taurus energy of like, no, this is the way that things should be. That's a beautiful thing because it's the thing in you that makes you want to stand up for others. But sometimes it's also the thing that makes you cling to certain outcomes of things playing out in certain ways. And that's just not how the universe works. If you could just say it needs to play out this way and then it would be done, like the world we live in, it would be way less chaotic. I know that. I'm trying to find the light. I want to be seen. I need to be seen. I'll just lay. I'm really feeling right now that, and let me try to turn on the light maybe. Yeah, that's better. I'm just feeling that you're having like all of these tower moments of being shaken up, and it's because a change that's just as strong, this type of change that shakes someone from a tower, the type of storm that picks you up like Dorothy and like puts you in Oz where everything is strange and everything is weird and you can't see how magical it is because, you know, this isn't a movie, it's your life. But I'm hearing if you romanticize your life like it's a movie, if you pretend that the storms that you're going through are just like Oz and that's all there is to it, I can only imagine the beauty that can come out of a life like that. I can only imagine the beauty that comes from being able to romanticize moments of imperfection. Law of attraction, hearing that would be like, oh my gosh, this person is like so locked in and tapped into their desire. They can harvest desire from any situation. And that's where you're headed. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to have empathy for yourself. If you look around you, and I'm also hearing like kind of like this kind of like weird energy of there's outside influences that are either causing you to be in this state of negativity about your situation, or maybe it's being induced by your environment. Sometimes being around the wrong people just makes things feel, oh, that's perfect. Sometimes being around the wrong people just makes things feel like you have less of that optimism for yourself, and it just feels like really, really icky, like being in other people's negative influence. And I'm almost hearing like Maybe it's time for you to just focus on you. I feel like you already have too. I feel like this is such an intuitive collective, a collective of people who really, they look inward when things are weird. And I'm feeling like I'm also hearing this is a momentary thing. Maybe you're someone who can be stubborn, yeah, but you're definitely someone who is understanding what I'm saying. I mean, you're still here at this point in the video. You understand law of attraction. You understand, like, I really should have a positive reframe on these crazy things that pop up and bubble up during my day and these really heavy feelings that I feel. I'm hearing so many things are like dropping into my brain about what type of person you are. There's so many good traits coming up, and they like the contrast from the level of turmoil I'm feeling in the energy is like insane. I know that strong people sometimes are, or strong and smart, I'm hearing. Smart people are sometimes smart to a fault where you begin to overthink of everything that can go wrong. But I'm just here to tell you as your friend, like, please don't do that. That is a form of self-harm. That is a form of self-harm. And I'm hearing like, you know better. Maybe in the past you struggled with, you know, using too many substances or like doing things that were like kind of akin to self-harm. But I'm hearing right now, like, you are at a point where you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to feel self-induced pain, or even like self-induced pain that's not because of you, but because you're around the people that just kind of like bring the rain. I'm hearing that's not you anymore. That's not what you're wanting. Is that thunder? I can't believe it's storming again. Wow, talk about tower. I'm just so proud of you for being so intuitive, for tapping into what fills up my cup. Like when you have a rainy day, it's so much labor. It can be so hard to pull yourself up out of it, but I'm hearing you're very tapped into what brings you joy. And that is an achievement in itself. You're not a failure. Sometimes you can feel like, oh, I'm failing, I'm behind, this isn't working out, that's not working out. But really, these moments where things don't go wrong are to help you in the future when you have so much more to hold. Wealth, prosperity in relationships, prosperity in family, certain dreams that have come true for you, whatever it is that you feel like you don't have now, when it comes in the future, you need to be able to look back on moments where you struggled to know that when you start to struggle with those things, when there's trouble in paradise, as they say, you'll know, this is how I found and regained my joy at my lowest. So I'm going to do it now and everything's fine. Moments like that, like they really do serve. Moments like this now, they really do serve to make sure that you can hold and retain and dig yourself out of trouble when there's way, way more to lose. And I'm really hearing, like, I keep hearing the phrase like upwardly mobile. Like I just keep hearing that you're someone who is going to take the little itsy bit that you've been given in life and just 10x, 3x. Why did I go down? I meant to say 30x. I really meant 10 times 3. Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you, Spirit, for the multiplication tables. We needed that. Because it's like, I have this deep and inner knowing that anyone who seeks self-improvement like you have, and this people in this collective, I know you're self-improvement, abundance-minded, people who believe, maybe you listen to Bob Proctor, that could be a synchronicity for you. You believe in doing spiritual work, doing inner work. You are destined to end up using that knowledge for something. You're not going to be one of those people where it just sits on your brain and you don't do anything with it. You're meant to go through this world and transmutate all of these teachings into something that will provide for future generations. I'm hearing generations and generations and generations, where they'll point to you as the person in their family tree that sought to make a difference, sought to make a difference and do things differently than everyone else before them did. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm so proud of you for that, because it really takes a special type of person. It's not just anyone who can achieve that. It's not just anyone who can even start to dream like that. Most people are just comfortable where they are, but you're just different. I'm hearing there's like a light in your eyes when people look at you, even in like on the worst day. There's just a light in your eyes. There's something about you where people will like randomly compliment you and you're like, oh, people are being so nice, or you might not even accept it, but there's just something about you. That's where impenetrable comes in again. You're impenetrable. The things that are supposed to reach you and hit you deep and disrupt you forever, they don't hit you like that. They don't shake you up as much as they would someone who's overly egotistical, who has a weak spirit and a weak heart, who takes everything personally. And because you're so used to being so strong and not taking things personally, I'm hearing right now you're being like super, super hard on yourself whenever you feel pain. 1111, as I was saying that, please don't do the thing where you know better, so you don't give yourself sympathy when you're feeling low. You're allowed to feel low. I don't know who needs to hear this. You're allowed to feel bad. You're allowed to feel bad. It's not the end all be all though. And that's where people like me, or people like, your friends or family members, whoever that person is for you, they come in and they say, I know you're better than this, but also, yes, and it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to sit in the sadness for a little while. And if you want to share I'm feeling led to say, if you want to share your story in the comments, like if you want to say like, this is what I'm going through, and like, it's really, really tough. I mean, I'll try to get to the comment. I try not to look at comments because I'm like, there's bound to be someone hating, or bound to be someone like trying to flirt with me, even though I have a partner. But like, yeah, like I just want to be able to like respond and do a positive reframe if I can. I really think sometimes when we're in a low moment, that's all we need. It's just a positive reframe and the solace of knowing that we're headed somewhere better than where we are now. You can have the worst night of your life and wake up in the morning and it's a beautiful day and you just feel so inspired. Look forward to that. Trust and know that that's coming. If you can, sit with your sadness first, because there's no way, or it's very hard and it's very difficult, and it also might be another type of self-harm to know that you're feeling pain and to try to brush it away just to feel positivity. I'm hearing that maybe you do need to sit with your pain for a second when the tower shakes you up, when it's like, oh no, I'm in a blender. Oh no, I'm Dorothy and I'm in a, I almost said that Dorothy was in a monsoon. Dorothy was not in a monsoon. What was Dorothy in? It was a tornado, right? It was like a twister. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know that video of that lady? And she's like learning, no, she's not learning Chinese. She is Chinese. And she's like, maybe she's Korean. Anyway, she was, I don't think she ever speaks in her native language, because the whole point is she's learning English and she's using this app. And like sometimes she'll get a really weird word, like a word where I'm like, dang, I don't even know what that means. Or I can see how this will be like outside of someone's vocabulary as like a intermediate type of learner. And like she'll be like, I don't know. And she just has this look of like frustration on her face, but it's so cute. She's just like, I don't even know her name. She's just really funny. I like her because that's how I feel when I'm practicing Spanish. I gotta get there, dude. But anyway, see, like, I acknowledge that, but I'm not gonna judge myself too hard. I'm gonna have some self-compassion. But yeah, just know that I see you. I see you learning. What is it that fills my cup? What is it that, I'm intuitive and I just have like a natural inner knowing about? And those are your talents. Those are your gifts. focus on those and then acknowledge and commend yourself for those, and find more spaces to go into where those positive assets of you are highlighted. I really believe in you. I just believe in you and like anyone associated with this collective so much. I just feel like I just feel like I just feel a lot. I just feel a lot of love for people who have been through things and are self-motivated to change, because I know how lonely it can be and I know how hard it can be. I'm doing a lot of like just like kind of like channeled messages where I just, read the energy and just like riff off on what I feel like someone's needing to hear in a moment. I usually, sometimes I read cards, but sometimes I just feel motivated to like speak as a friend. And I don't know, I just want to blow tons of kisses and just say, like, you have so much inherent value and talents and gifts. And sometimes this world is just like, I want to undermine that, or I want to not acknowledge that. I just don't want you to take that too personally. A lot of people, they're going through a lot of the things, similar things that you might be going through, and they're going through them silently. I'm hearing you're someone who's not afraid to open up, and sometimes you can feel like other people, if they don't say that they're going through something, maybe they're not at all, but that's not the case. A lot of people, they internalize things. And I just want you to know, I'm really hearing on my heart, don't internalize things. Get it out of your system, even if you're doing it while you're alone. Getting it out of your system while you're alone is not the same as internalizing. Getting things out of your system doesn't always have to be towards another person. Embrace your alone time. Why do I it sounded like something was moving under my bed. Isn't that's such a terrifying thought? But like, it was totally just my neighbors downstairs. Dude, I'm tripping. But anyway, one last thing that I'm hearing on my heart is that you are entering a new chapter where you're really focused on manifesting things that are like tangible things that you're trying to manifest, not just like internal, like, oh, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, or oh, like, it's like you're trying to manifest tangible things. I'm hearing money, and I'm also hearing relationships. I'm also hearing health, which is a little bit intrinsic, but I'm hearing like it's to do with like your dream body, or your skin. There's external things that you're trying to work on, and it's really frustrating not seeing results. And sometimes that can shake things up and make, when bad things happen, that makes it feel even worse, because you don't have the solace of things that are external that you can see or go to or spend or use or confide in. But I'm also hearing that you're beginning the journey that's going to lead to those things coming through in the very near future. But here's one thing. If whether it's love or wealth or health, I'm hearing, do not focus so much on others. Be looking inward. Focus on yourself. Act like you're the only girl, you're the only guy, you're the only person in the world. That's what I'm hearing. That is the type of magnetism that it's going to take. That's the type of positivity and self-care I'm hearing that it's going to take to get those outward results. And these things are dealing with personal aspects of you. So you really need to look inward. Sometimes we think we have to look outward. If I'm trying to clear my skin, I have to look outward towards social media gurus that have, quote unquote, better skin than me, or like that eat better than me. They're showing you like one moment of their life. Focus on you. You have you for all moments of your life. That's the tea. That's the tea, babe. I remember when I was learning on like getting into like gigging. I'm a jazz musician, and I was like getting into like singing these gigs and singing this complex music, I thought like everything had to do with like, I was overly focused on like what my band was going to be doing and if they were going to be able to support and back me up. I needed to be focusing on feeling the lyrics, feeling every lyric, every piece of music. That's what I needed to be focused on. But I turned outward and I got more results. And there was this one show, I remember my first show I did. I was so nervous because I was thinking about everyone else. And as soon as I turned the mirror on me and was like, is Simone feeling this song? Is Sim like in the vibe right now? Is she like connected to the lyrics? Is she feeling every note and every word? Is she feeling the context of the song? Is she storytelling while she's on stage? The whole second half of the set went better once I stopped focusing on who was in the audience or what they were going to think of me or how I might sound in the monitor. When I started feeling it, it all flowed so well. I remember my mom came all the way from the other side of the state to see me at this gig. And she was like, why were you the strongest in the last 3 songs? And I was like, I don't know, mama girl. But I did know it was because I was focused on me. And I was really locked in. Locked in the way where I was focused on myself. I was focusing on my own desires. And that's what I'm hearing. When it comes to you, again, navigating these things you're navigating, I promise you're right on the verge. I can feel it so hard because now that you have this knowledge of like, this is the mindset that I need to have, flag this video and save it if you need to. I really believe in repetition. It gets it in your brain or something like that. Again, I was hearing Bob Proctor earlier. Maybe someone's into Bob Proctor, but yeah, this is the mindset that you need to have. And I know that you're going to step into it and do a lovely job and embodying all of these things and turning these not so good poopy, not cool moments. I can't believe I just said poopy into like a good moment. Okay, doves, I love you. I believe in you. You got this. Mwah.